You are about to witness bodily dismemberment, sub-zero temperatures, and all-out mayhem. Brought to you by the Frontline Network.
Sup, G8 fans, and welcome to the second Company of Heroes 2 beta cast brought to you by the Frontline Network, presented by me, FatalSaint, and my good friend Tommy. What's up, Tommy?
What's up, FatalSaint? I am very pleased to say that today we are going to be looking at a 2v2 from this beta. The beta, of course, not being representational of the final game, but is a very, very early beta build, so we're not going to be focusing too much on the balance, but we are going to be looking at some of the really cool design features that Relic have put into this game.
Yep, and today we actually have a very well-known Soviet player. And who's that, Tommy?
That is AmiPolizeiFunk. He is going to be playing as the Soviets, and he is joined by a very old COH expert, ArmaReborn. They are going to be taking on the Austere, which is a double team composing of one fairly unknown player who I haven't heard of, and one player, Bjarkey, who's an accomplished COH player, and a few people may have heard of him. He's had a bit of a tournament history.
Yeah, quite a bit of a tournament history in Vico, and now he will be taking on the Austere faction combined with his friend Marshal Nyyke. We'll just call him Marshal from now on. You ready to go, Tommy?
I'm ready.
On pause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And, well, you know, from the games we have actually played in the beta, we played both 1v1s and 2v2s ourselves. We've even played bigger games than that, I think. They're a bit different to 1v1s, just like in Vico. There's some, you know, team dynamics that come into play and combination of units and whatever. So it's always interesting to see 2v2s compared to 1v1s, I think.
Yeah, people are already beginning to implement those kind of mixed strategies that you see. You know, if you see like a WS team, one player will typically take the racks and the other player will typically take the WSC. And here we're seeing a similar kind of synergy, particularly with Soviets, because they have a tech line which is quite similar in a lot of ways to the tech line of the US in the old games. So it does provide some good synergy. You have these lovely conscripts, which we saw in the 1v1 with Inverse and Aimstrong. These guys, your basic infantry, joining up with the combat engineers, who are not bad in mainline combat either. So they're more expensive than pioneers. It's a bit of a different dynamic. You know, in the Vico game, the dynamic was sort of engineers and pioneers. Either one could kind of win, but the engineers just about had the edge most of the time. But here, the combat engineers do tend to take on the pioneers and win in about 90% of scenarios because they are more expensive and they are combat troops.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the combat engineers are like fairly similar, more to like a 4-man conscript squad or something. So, you know, they're not that bad, while pioneers seem just fairly weaker all around. And, you know, their weapons seem to be outmatched by the rifles from the combat engineers. But they are cheaper, so it's 200 manpower for a Pio at this time in the beta, and that is always subject to change, as it's still a beta, compared to the combat engineers, which are 240 manpower. So it's different.
Yeah, it is indeed. Now we've got one of the really cool features of the Code 2 here. We've got this deep snow near these conscripts who are firing, and you can see where they waded out, they left all these footprints. Now, a very savvy player, this isn't really being put to use at the moment in the game, just because the metagame hasn't really evolved at all. It's still in its infancy, but I can tell, you know, in high-level 1v1 games, people are going to be tracking snipers and units and stuff by the footprints they leave, because you can tell if there's a lot of footprints, that means a large squad, that means a conscript squad, or something similar, and if it's just one set of footprints, two sets of footprints, you know, there may be a sniper or an engineer squad on the way there. And during a blizzard, particularly when your line of sight is really blocked, you're going to have to use these alternative methods to actually go out and find out where your opponent is.
We have a little bit of building warfare on the right-hand side here. We have a Pioneer squad against a Combat Engineer squad, and the Combat Engineer squad was actually joined by 2 Conscript squad, but we also have a secondary and a third Pios squad, because Bjarkey actually started up with 3 Pioneers and a Grenadier squad now joining in on the fight here. So it's actually a 4v3, 3 Pios and a Gren versus 2 Conscripts and a Combat Engineer. Very interesting long engagement here, I think. And we also have another Conscript squad coming in from the flank, reinforcing the 2 Conscript squad and an Engineer squads. Very cool long engagement, I think.
I think we actually have Ura popped by 2 of those conscript squads there, but they stay stationary. I don't think they get any bonuses while stationary at this point, while popping Ura, but it does allow them to move faster. So we have these conscripts now really moving in. There's an MG though, and the MG's very, very good. Now being flanked though by the conscripts as they Ura behind the MG, but taking a lot of damage. Those conscripts are not very strong. But chucks
very
an
quick
early
tech.
Molotov,
Yeah, very quick tech to Molotovs. So I guess he must have gone for like 3 conscripts into Molotovs. And he actually gets another one off before his forced retreat due to the pin defect from an MG. And Bjarkey actually manages to hold off the Soviets here, but he took quite a lot of casualties. Most of his Pioneer squads went down to 2 men each, and the MG took quite a beating as well from those 2 Molotov cocktails. And we also had quite a lot of health loss on his Grenadier squad. We do have a second Grenadier squad out from Bjarkey as well, with an MG, a second MG following the first MG.
Oh, that was a rifle grenade that just went in. The Grenadiers popping a rifle grenade to take out a couple of combat engineers there in spectacular fashion. But now it's conscripts versus Grenadiers. Usually the conscripts would be expected to lose this engagement, but they've actually taken down the Grenadiers to quite low health, so it really is anybody's game. Now this is a unit we haven't seen before yet. This is the M3A1, like the scout car, but unlike the Jeep in Vico, it's actually capable of carrying units. It's still very weak, and it still doesn't have a lot of health or armor, but the ability to carry a squad, particularly a flamethrower squad, which can actually shoot out of the open top turret, is extremely useful, and actually turns it into quite the potent little unit there.
It's a very powerful unit. You can harass units, you can flank MGs with it, etc. Since it's so mobile and it can't be suppressed by MG fire, obviously. And also the flamethrowers do quite a bit of damage in competitive heroes too, just as it did in the first game, Vico. So, you know, carrying a very, very powerful attack unit in a very, very mobile truck is not a bad idea.
Loving this circle strafing here by the scout car to flush out the MG. Doing a lot of damage there, and actually the MG sets up by accident. I think we have a Panzerfaust going in because, of course, Grenadiers can use Panzerfaust now straight out of Tier 1. And it actually takes the scout car down to about 5% health, and the MG actually finished it off there. It's going slowly out of control.
Ooh, but those Grens are very low health. Oh, he actually got it out of dodge. That was very, very lucky.
Very lucky indeed. Oh, but no sooner is the first one gone down than we actually have a second scout car on the field, flushing out the second MG. AmiPolizeiFunk putting these scout cars to good use here. He's got to be careful, though, around these Panzerschrecks, because, as said, they can pop Panzerfaust. Was that another one? Or was that a Molotov? I'm hearing Molotovs going off everywhere. There's a whoa, Molotovs everywhere, all around the door of this church, clearing the MG. And this conscript wave is actually storming over the field now, sending the Axis players packing all over the map. What a huge attack there.
Bjarkey is doing fairly good on the right-hand side. He managed to force off the last conscript squad, but they are back for some more business, trying to flush out Bjarkey from the right-hand side, and they've actually captured the cutoff now. So the fuel and the strategic point on the far right-hand sides are actually cut off. We do have Ura use on these 2 conscript squads, but they barely just get around that MG. They do throw in a Molotov. That forces the MG to pack up and leave the battlefield for now. He's going to retreat back to base. You can reinforce and maybe also heal up. We do have the M3 half-track cutting the Germans off from more of the resources, actually.
Oh, it's going to be a Panzerfaust going in on this half track. It takes it down very low health and damages its engine there. But he's going to stay there because that top gunner is actually pretty powerful.
Yeah, the MGs on the half tracks are really good, as well as, you know, as you can garrison units in it and shoot out of the open top like the flamethrowers. Suppose very, very
health now. Actually, that's a rear gunner it has on the back of it. Oh, another Panzerfaust goes in. He's going to finish it off. And the engineer...
Yeah, that's so toast. Focus fired by 2 grenadiers on retreat. No way he would get out of there alive. The M3 half-track, the half-track blows up. Then the engineer gets taken down on retreat as well. So that's 2 half-tracks down and 1 flamer now as well.
Now this is a unit we haven't seen before. This is the scout car. It's now built out of tier 2. Many of you will recognize it as the Panzer Elite unit from VCOH. And it is quite an interesting unit because when it bombs out like this, it's got that top gunner, which is decent, but it can also be upgunned, and that essentially turns it from a scout car into an armored car, and it gives it that powerful top gunner, which is actually pretty good against vehicles and not too bad against infantry either. It's a little bit of a different role that it fills compared to what it did in the old game, where the old game it was a bit of an infantry killer. But here, it's actually pretty good against vehicles.
Yeah, it can kill light vehicles like a half-track.
18-8 goes in, and actually we have our first abandoned vehicle. The conscripts drew an 18-8, they caused the abandoned vehicle crit, and they are now going to steal it. You can see there the little flashing 2 allows them to steal it with 2 men and then retreat. Abandoned vehicles, when they are remanned, do tend to come back with a critical though. So it's going to have to be repaired by this nearby engineer squad. But the loss of a scout car is a big, big loss for the Axis side, and they're going to regret that when they end up fighting it later.
Yeah, they can still fight it off with Panzerfaust, for example. You could always take up and get AT guns from tier 2, or as Bjarkey is actually going for the support armor corps, so he's going to be able to build Stugs and Ostwinds and P4s, and also the Panzerwerfer, which is a mobile artillery piece, similar to the Stuka of Vico.
We have the Guard doctrine has been picked. This is actually the same Soviet doctrine that we saw picked as in the last game with Inverse and Aimstrong. But this time we are going to be seeing the Guards, which are like an elite infantry unit available to the Soviets. They come packing AT rifles and with the ability to upgrade to light machine guns. They are very, very powerful. They have the ability to vet up extremely quickly, at least at this point in the beta, and are very, very tough indeed. So I'm looking forward to seeing those guys in action.
These marauding conscripts, they're all over the field trying to flush off the Axis from the VPs and the fuels on this map. And Molotovs are just flying all over the place all the time.
They are. He threw them in to try and clear the building from that Pioneer.
Yeah, Pio Flamer in a building is very resilient to small arms fire. You really need flamethrowers, snipers, or some form of indirect fire like a mortar to flush them out of the buildings, at least quick enough. Molotovs also do the trick as well, but they are very, very strong with that garrison bonus they get.
Oh, and we have our first upgraded conscript squads there with the SMGs, and now our first Panzer Grenadier squad. They can be upgraded with Shreks, and that's what we see here. So he has 3 MP44s and 1 Shrek, quite a bit like Stormtroopers there. And we have our first Guard squad on the field as well. Now rolling out into the middle.
T-34 on the left-hand side as well. Now for AmiPolizeiFunk. He's got his first vehicle on the field, apart from those half-track he had before. The first tank on the field for this battle.
T-34 is being very potent, but it does take quite a lot of damage from those Shreks there. As we can see, we actually have another tank, though. It's a Stug out from Bjarkey. Now, Stugs, again, they're a little bit different from Vico, and you can't expect them to be used in quite the same way. Whereas in Vico, they were sort of equally good anti-infantry and anti-tank. They're very, very much geared towards the anti-tank role. They have a very, very long range and pretty good armor penetration.
I think that stolen scout car. Whoa, I thought he was actually going to go down to the Stug here. He got 2 very good hits on it. There it goes, out of control.
Look at that range there. That was the range being put to good use. But we're going to have a second 18-8 now thrown into the rear of the Stug. Oh, that's a lot of damage being done there. Almost 50% health done.
Yeah, the Stugs are not that good at an anti-infantry role. You can upgrade them for a small munitions cost to get that nasty MG gunner on the top, but it's still not that great compared to the Vico top gunner on the Stugs, which would suppress riflemen like crazy. In this game, it does just, more like flat-out damage more than suppression.
2 more 18-8s going in, including the injured gunner critical, which is a temporary critical, which which basically prevents the use of the main gun there. And I think this nice use of Ura here is going to chase down this Stug. It's not going to be able to outrun it. First striker veterancy for one of those squads there as well. And I think one more 18 aid could well be the end of this Stug. Maybe even leave it abandoned for him to actually steal, which would be quite a huge win for him. That's another temporary critical there. That was a vision block to driver, temporary driver vision block.
What, has he run out of munitions to throw more 18-8s, or...?
I don't know, because that's ArmaReborn stuff. I mean, the 18-8s aren't hugely expensive, but oh, that's a nice bit of Stug blocking there, blocking the Vet 2 conscripts as they try and retreat. Whoa, he actually finishes them off there with a flamethrower on retreat and those grenadiers as well. He must have run out of munitions, you know?
Yeah, he must have run out of munitions. He just can't get the killing shot on that Stug. It's so low health, there's a damage engine and everything on it, but he just can't finish it off. We do have a little bit of Stug spam coming from Bjarkey. He's got 3 Stugs now. Even with that first Stug that almost went down, magically managed to survive all of those 18-8s. We do have the T-34 moving in now, but I don't think that's a good idea, so Ami decides to park. No. It's too much.
We have our first sniper out, which could be a reaction to the guards, because they are very, very tough otherwise to kill. Now being sniped away.
They're also very expensive to reinforce, so, you know, a sniper is generally almost like a guaranteed kill, and it's just more drain on your opponent's manpower income, having to reinforce those expensive elite squads.
And you got to be careful with the guards, because they actually have 4 droppable rifles. They have
he picks it up, and then he gets sniped and drops it again.
That's the thing, you know, if you upgrade, because the guards come with 2 AT rifles by default, but if you upgrade them with the DP light machine guns, then you've got 4 potentially droppable weapons there. So if your squad goes down any lower than 4 squad men, then you're really in danger of giving your opponent some serious heavy equipment.
Yeah, you never want to give your opponents any form of extra equipment that can fight your units. Because if you start giving away the AT rifles on the guard squads, they can actually do damage to vehicles like T-34s, not only half-tracks and T-70s, which are both very lightly armored, they do damage to medium armored tanks as well. It's not much, it takes quite a long time, but combined with other units, it might be enough to take down a vehicle.
Oh, I'd definitely say so. I mean, those AT rifles, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. They do a small amount of damage. You know, they fire fairly rapidly. You know, the reload isn't massive or anything like that. So it's similar to, you know, just the handheld AT of Vico, like Panzerschrecks and bazookas. They have fairly similar reload speeds. So, you know, you can potentially take down a medium armored vehicle fairly rapidly if you just get a few nice hits on it and then, you know, follow up with a Stug or 2. That's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Now, there was another neat feature I was just looking at here. Yeah, you can see it here with the Pioneers. Tanks now actually give cover in Code 2. So I can see a lot of potential there for tanks to be used during blizzards, especially when the cold can really catch you out of cover. To actually use the tanks as moving cover to advance even during a blizzard, because then you won't be affected by the dropping temperatures. And you can see there Pioneers repairing the Stug down in the south. Even though they're in the middle of a road, because they're by the green cover of the Stug, they're actually staying warm.
Yeah, as long as you stay in cover, the temperatures of your troops don't go down. It just stays stationary. It just stops wherever the temperatures was at before you got into cover. The only way to get the temperature up, though, is by standing close to a fire or getting in a building.
Whoa,
or any form of garrison of the vehicle.
These 2 tanks had to come before they saw each other.
In the middle of a blizzard, especially vehicles, don't seem to be able to...
It's a ram!
Oh, that is so cool.
Tank, and actually, it doesn't immobilize the Stug, which it normally does. So
it did destroy the main gun, however.
Yeah, both sides actually lost their main gun, didn't they? The T-34 got immobilized, and the Stug got a damaged engine and a destroyed main gun there. So that T-34 now is a sitting duck for the second Stug. Now look at that range firing from just such a long way away there.
Oh, we now even have Stugs from Bjarkey's teammate Marshal as well.
Oh my god, there's Stugs everywhere, firing from all sides.
That T-34 is so boned. No threads, no main gun, destroyed engine now as well. And there it goes.
Boom.
Nice kill for Bjarkey's Stug. And Bjarkey is now actually building his 5th Stug. He's literally only have Stugs, MGs, 2 Pyos and a Grenna.
And there's Panzer Grenadiers here fighting off these 2 T-34s, but there's shock troops coming in to deal the damage here as well. Bundle grenade goes in, doesn't do too much. One of those T-34s now getting very low health until a temporary vision block there. The Shreks weren't quite enough to finish it off, but it does actually get abandoned, I think, by one of the Stugs, possibly.
Yeah, abandon is a new kill critical, you could call it. You know, apart from getting out of control or just blowing up on the spot, vehicles can now also be abandoned and then recaptured by your enemy or yourself, in case you're able to force off whatever killed your vehicle after it got abandoned. So it's always a chance that you get it back. We do have Su-85s out for Arma, taking care of these Stugs from Bjarkey. Main gun destroyed.
Oh, another T-34 goes down, but not before the shack actually got taken out that was containing the MG. Nice flank on the AT gun here. 6-man crews, you will notice, not like the 3-man crews of Vico, but much larger crews, much more resilient to getting flanked, and much more resilient, especially to snipers.
His Stug on the left-hand side might be in trouble. It's got an Su-85 firing at it. It actually misses instead of getting the kill crit.
Oh, it's another abandoned tank.
Another abandoned tank.
But is there anything nearby to actually go up and steal it? That's the question. Oh, look at these Panzer Shreks coming into the flank, though. It could be dangerous.
Oh, nice 2 hits plus a stolen AT gun. A stolen Soviet AT gun got a nice shot in on an Su-85 as well. Others abandoned vehicles everywhere.
This isn't good now. And you saw there the impact of veterancy. You get veterancy for taking damage as much as giving it. And just taking a few Panzer Shrek hits there allowed that Su-85 to get a little bit more veterancy. Yeah, look at that T-34 still in the middle, still abandoned. Nobody's gone for it yet.
I guess there's not been any infantry squads around. There's a conscript squad now coming out completely unupgraded. That could potentially take it. But there are Stug and Panzer Shreks in the vicinity, so if they retake it, it's most likely going to get instantly destroyed.
That's a Panzerwerfer firing now. These rockets could be devastating. Oh my god, that was nasty stuff. Actually took out a whole conscript squad.
Yeah, it was combined with the bundle nade, that conscript squad just blew into tiny
nice
grenade
there.
pieces.
Nice grenade from the guards.
We do have another abandoned Stug in the center, actually.
Oh my
We
god,
do have
abandoned
a lot of
tanks
grenadiers
everywhere.
coming in.
We should probably mention this does not happen very regularly. You really don't see the abandoned kill crit all that often. Which is why it's so cool to see so many abandoned tanks. One of them gets recrewed, one of the T-34s gets recrewed, but the other one gets destroyed instantaneously.
Oh, main gun destroyed. What is firing at it? I'm not exactly sure.
It's a pack from a long, long way away. We can see it's just within range there, and it does actually finish it off.
I think it got Panzerfausted by the Grenadiers there before they reached.
Did it?
Yeah, they did manage to take it out. So the recruit abandoned T-34 goes down, combined with the other T-34 in the center as well. So both of those Russian vehicles now killed and destroyed and unrecruitable. And at the same time, Bjarkey has regained the VP on the right-hand side, stopping the drain on the Axis team, which are currently down to 236 VPs, combined to the Soviets 416.
So Blizzard has set in once again, which is going to put the pressure on the players to actually stay in cover, stay near those fires, and get warm or pay the ultimate price. I mean, look at this middle section of the battlefield. It's really cool how the bodies have a much longer time before they actually start disappearing. So you can see the battlefield literally is littered with corpses.
On the left-hand side, we have a small firefight between two Flamer engineers against a Grenadier squad, which are completely getting torched. At least they're getting warm in the blizzard, I guess. But he might potentially lose these Grenadiers on retreat, down to one man, very low health. He's actually going to get away. Most likely thanks to the blizzard obstructing the view for the combat engineers, so they couldn't actually kill him off on retreat.
Ah, that's unfortunate. We've got a guard squad is out. It's in green cover right now, but it's freezing. Moving into the middle.
Both pioneers for Bjarkey in the center are also experiencing the harsh reality on the Eastern Front when it comes to the winter and the cold. But all of these Stugs from Bjarkey, he's got 3 Stugs still alive. And against T-34s, they're very, very powerful. The Su-85s, however...
Oh my god, huge grenade from that guard squad. Finishes off a flamethrower squad there.
I think that T-34 is out of control, not exactly sure. Here's a new tank. It's actually another Soviet Tier 4 tank, the Su-76, which also doubles as a light artillery piece. It doesn't have an artillery ability and it can also fire normally.
Oh, more rockets flying into the middle here. And the Soviets moving back into the center to try and grab this middle VP, which is really turning into quite a meat grinder. Oh, we have, look at this, we have a Vet 2 Stug there with the armored skirts on the side.
Just like in Biko, I think the skirts on the vehicles just look so sexy. And that must have been some form of a Soviet off-map used on the 2 Stugs there.
Oh no, the Vet 2 Stug actually goes, oh my god, what? That's gotta be a...
Yeah, it's the planes.
It's an IL-2 Sturmovik, in fact. Probably the most famous, if the T-34 is the archetypal tank for the Soviets, and the IL-2 Sturmovik has got to be the plane.
Yeah, the most famous airplane of the Eastern Front. We did actually have the Su-85 being taken out by 2 Stugs. Bjarkey Stug actually paid for that kill with his own life. We do have a Stug, however, from Marshal pursuing the Su-76 now. He's trying to get it. Oh, not enough, too little. And now the Soviet AT gun and T-34 actually face down against the Stug. He's literally a sitting duck right now, but that T-34 just randomly died to what? Ah, an AT gun from Marshal.
Sitting in the back there.
Yeah, there's actually 2 packs now.
Oh, more artillery flying in. It disintegrates the MG crew.
One of the stacks from Bjarkey is just camping the right-hand side VP, while an MG also kind of on the right-hand side of the map are stopping these conscripts from going anywhere. I think it's actually hiding behind it must be obstructing the view for the MG in the house. There's one conscript guy just sitting around. MG's not firing on him. I think it's behind a hedge or something. Oh, the Panzerwerfer is actually firing from Bjarkey now. I'm not exactly sure where it's on. It might be on the AT gun, might be on the SE-85. It's all over the place, actually.
Oh my god, the conscript squad nabbed himself a flamer, ran forward with Ura, and just torched the 4 pack crew.
Lots of abandoned guns in the middle now. There's a recruitable pack and an MG as well. But I don't see anything in the vicinity that can actually recruit it. Bjarkey uses one of his pioneer squads to recruit the AT gun. While on the left-hand side, we do have a Grenadier squad with an LMG upgrade against a conscript squad, which is forced to retreat, both Vet 2. VPs still draining for the Axis team, down to 208, compared to the Soviet VPs of 351. Flamer v Flamer.
Nasty, nasty hit is coming in on this pack here from that light artillery. And finally decrews the gun itself.
Yeah, but at the same time, the tank actually that was firing on the pack got decrewed by the pack itself. So it's abandoned. Another abandoned vehicle,
Another abandoned tank. When are these guys actually going to start recrewing all their abandoned tanks? There's still an abandoned Stug just sitting in the bottom.
Last time they tried, it just instantly got graped. So I guess maybe they're not so up for it. None of the Soviet conscripts or the German grenadiers want to jump in a tank that's almost destroyed and on fire. Just for a prospect of maybe getting it repaired before it dies again.
Well, that sounds eminently sensible. We have some flamethrowers and some conscripts in the middle getting pinned down by a machine gun here. Very, very powerful, those machine guns at this point. The church building in the middle is actually going to collapse just as I look at it.
That was so cool. Seriously, the physics of this game is so
awesome.
awesome. It's so cool. We do have a conscript squad. We have 2 retreating past a grenadier squad in the center, trying to nab that VP.
Wow, those flamers! Oh my god!
Whoa, double flamers! Grenadiers from Bjarkey forced to retreat due to a lot of pain from those flamethrowers.
More rockets into the middle VP, but it's too little, too late. Misses the target entirely. I mean, look at the middle. The middle is just a wreck of tanks right now.
There's just tank corpses everywhere, explosions, craters, scorched earth everywhere.
Another T-34 is on the way for AmiPolizeiFunk. He's going to try and combat these thugs with more T-34s.
Bjarkey actually has the Tiger unlocked right now, so he could potentially build it.
Ah, but he's going to need to go for Tier 4 for that.
Yeah, he needs more fuel. It's not a severe fuel shortage, but these thugs are costing him 50 fuel each. And I think he's lost like something like 5 already, and he's got another 3 on the field. So, you know, he's getting close to have built 10 thugs now.
MG gets recruited in the middle, but promptly flanked and flamed by actually a conscript squad with a flamer and an engineer with a flamer.
Thugs are trying to stop them, but I think it's too late. The MG actually gets decrewed. It could potentially get stolen as well. We do have... Whoa!
What was that?
Well, your guess is just as good as mine. We do have an artillery piece, actually, from Marshal. 10.5 centimeter LEFH 18 artillery piece. It's actually built just outside of the axis. I think that's a doctrine artillery piece for the Germans. I haven't actually seen it in use before.
No, I'm excited to see what he does with it. It looks
well, obviously it completely and utterly destroys a conscript squad, as we saw, because those guys just melted.
Well, we've actually got two. It's the battle of the Vet 3s over here. One of these Vet 3 Grens. Wow, this Vet 3 Gren squad has a DP, stolen DP light machine gun. It has a light LMG and a Panzerschreck.
Those are some kitted out Grens, seriously.
And at Vet 3, you can actually see what Vet 3 does there, and it actually significantly increases their accuracy. So you're looking at a squad with increased armor and increased accuracy with a Shrek and 2 LMGs. That is just scary.
3 weapon upgrades on 1 squad at Vet 3 as well. That is not bad. I think the LEFH is firing. I'm not sure. No, it's just sitting there.
It's because it's always pointing upwards. It's
yeah. It's just like, is it firing or is it not? But the guy just seems to be hanging about or something.
Standing around.
We do actually have artillery.
Yep, now it's firing. I don't know what it's firing at, but
as the Katusha that just fired at it.
Oh yeah.
It's real close as well. It almost nabbed a combat engineer on retreat, but it just barely missed him.
If it fell just a little bit short, it could take out that shack that the Vet 3 conscripts are hiding in.
Oh, look at the damage on the Katusha.
Yeah, that did a lot of damage there. Oh, whoa!
But he actually takes it out! Oh, I think that was Arma's Katusha. Oh, it takes out the shed, everything explodes, and those conscripts are toast!
Oh, no.
That was nasty. It almost takes out the AT gun crew as well. And Ami is actually using his AT gun's light artillery ability now to bombard the center VP, which had an MG sitting on it.
A couple of Panzergrens are retreated, forced retreat from the left-hand side. There's a couple of conscripts now wading through the deep snow. They're trying to get to this, to try and cap this fuel point over here on the left, but they're actually going to freeze in the process unless they get into a building or something, because these guys are getting seriously low health. All the campfires around this left-hand side have been destroyed. These guys are freezing to death while desperately trying to seek the cover, what little cover there is. I can see Armor is trying to micro them into the cover there. And actually, this is another little, yeah, you can see them now dying to the snow. But you can see they're actually cloaked, because units in blizzards, while in heavy snow, as you can see around here, the heavy snow, actually become cloaked, so you can launch sneak attacks. Unfortunately, it's not much good if your troops are also freezing to death.
No, they die one by one, very slowly and very painfully. And look at all the footprints in the snow here.
I know, it's great.
I'm loving all those footprints, all the physics and everything, all the explosions and the shacks blowing up and just lumber flying all over my screen.
guys are going to be dying though shortly. More artillery into the middle here. Nope, some light artillery at close range. This time from the field gun.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of that MG guarding the middle VP, and the Soviets are actually triple capped at the moment, draining quite rapidly. Oh, there goes the MG crew finally. It took quite a while, actually 2 artillery pieces shooting at him.
Oh, what killed that Stug? AT gun.
An AT gun. And the AT gun on the right hand side in the center actually gets decrewed by an LMG equipped grenadier squad. And then recrewed, and most likely going to be turned against Arma's Su-76. He's turning it, the blizzard is over, he can clearly see it. It's trying to back away, but it does have a damaged engine since before.
Line of sight, yes,
line of sight.
There.
That was so close.
He's going to try and run away with it, though, nonetheless. It's Grand Theft 76mm gun. And my god, look at all this vetted infantry here in the middle from Marshal there. Yeah, he's got that Vet 3 Grand Squad, a couple of Vet 2 Panzerschreck toting Panzer Grenadiers, and that Vet 2 Flamer there.
Yeah, Vet 2 Flamer. Props for that, I gotta say. It's not that easy to keep, especially pioneers, because they are fairly weak to keep them alive, especially not if they're fighting assault infantry like guards.
Just look at this middle of the map. It is an absolute killing field. We have some more guards over here on the left-hand side. They're wading through the heavy snow here, though, as they are freezing and taking fire from these Panzergrens.
Oh, there's a nice grenade.
Oh, it's grenade tennis.
It's tennis. Double bundle, I think. That was a double, I think.
Oh, and it's Katusha firing. Katusha rockets go in, landing all around.
Ooh, almost naps on retreat, actually. It was very close to the one-man Panzer Grenadier squad for Marshal.
Mines being laid here by Marshal. Mines are a little bit different in Co2. You actually lay a whole minefield now. And that was an S minefield being put down by Marshal. And you can see here, he's laying them all around this point. A whole minefield. This is almost reminiscent of a scene from World War I.
Oh, wow, that's close quarter fire. Oh, it actually takes out a Vet 3 Gren on the right-hand side VP. There was an AT gun from Arma, which actually used its artillery ability. Almost point-blank range. It was demolished the Grenadier squad. Two shots.
The left is actually firing back, trying to get a little bit of retribution, and it's firing with pinpoint accuracy. Unfortunately, the AT gun actually moved.
Yeah. Just moved out of the way.
No, just as I was talking about pinpoint accuracy, one of the shots goes flying wildly over to the left. Got a real heavy concentration of troops now here in the middle. One of the T-34s getting repaired here. Whoa, big hit here on the Stug. Instant damage engine.
Oh, an AT gun that
and
was
look at this, more Katusha fire coming in here. Just constant rocket fire. Clears one of the MGs, doing a lot of damage to this Stug.
Whoa, I think it just bounced. One of the rockets just bounced on the Stug.
Wow. Oh, a lucky Stug if he can get out of there with his life. Over here on the right hand side, it's MG still firing away, blocking this guard squad from getting through.
He needs to lob a grenade on that MG or something. I'm not sure. He actually gets pinned before he has the time to do it.
But we actually have, look at this lovely flank here by a conscript squad coating those SMGs. I can see the idea. He was trying to flank around that MG42.
He ran right into an LMG-equipped Grenadier, however, but it does have those PPSHs equipped.
The Inspire ability, which is like an active version of Zeal, that gives him increased accuracy for every man that he loses from his squad. And you can see here the effect is palpable. This 4-man conscript squad chewing up and spitting out that Gren squad.
Ooh,
taking it to
three.
vet 3, which gives it a significant increase in durability. I don't know the exact statistics for it, but we can only imagine that it turns it into quite a strong squad there, that vet 3 conscript.
They are still conscious, however, so against an MG and a Flamer Pio is a little bit too much, so it's better just to get the hell out of the way before you let get torched.
There are still 2 Stugs down here in the south, both abandoned, one next to the VP and another one abandoned for several minutes now, sitting next to that forest.
Whoa, I wasn't even paying attention to what Marshal was building as I'm following Bjarkey. He's got an elephant on the field.
Oh my god. That elephant
Oh,
is...
that T-34 is so bone! It's not even funny. He's trying to take out the artillery piece, but a Shrek actually finishes him off from out of the Panzer Grenadiers.
Just look at the size of that thing. It is absolutely huge. It has the longest range of any tank in the game with a range of 100, which is not a million miles away from the range of an 88 in the old game. It has incredible armor and a very large amount of health, second really only to the Tiger. In fact, I think it's just an incredibly tough piece of equipment.
I think the Soviet ISU 52 or 152, whatever they're called, I think their range is also quite tremendous.
Yeah, they're just, oh, it's a beastly tank, and it's not something that I've seen so much actually in my game, so it's really exciting to see it being put to use here.
It's such a cool tank, like such a cool model. It's so cool to look at.
Yeah, it's just massive. It's huge. It's like a sort of a semi super tank.
We're like a demigod of the German army right now, because I don't think there's anything on the Soviet side that could potentially counter this right now. You know, the tank destroyer Su-85s might be able to penetrate it now and then, etc., but it does have a load of health and very good armor, and it does outrange most of the tanks in the Soviet arsenal. I think it's actually hitting that Su-85 now, like across the whole map. It is actually hitting that Su-85 across the whole map. It's forced him to back away behind a shack to hide in shame from that elephant.
Jesus.
One abandoned Stug, 2 abandoned Stugs. No, that was actually the destroyed one. There's still a few abandoned vehicles on the field that are recrewable, but nothing to really recruit with at the moment.
More Katyusha fire. This time it's coming down around the elephant, but it just shrugs off Katyusha rockets.
It doesn't really care at all.
Doesn't even bat an eyelid. Whoa! We actually have a Vet 3 Panzer Grenadier squad. That is going to be scary to deal with. Elephant still firing just from such insane ranges here.
I think it's actually taken out the AT gun.
I think he is, you know.
He's outranging the AT gun without problems, and the AT gun is actually forced to back away instead of taking on the fight with his elephant. Just way too much for it to handle.
Into the center here, the Blizzard finally passing. Guard squad here in the middle with the DPs and the AT guns.
I think the elephant was finding himself a little bit too unstoppable at the moment, and he just went charging in the center of the map, but he's actually backing off now when he realized that maybe I took a little bit too much to shoot.
You can actually see and hear those guards' AT rifles, light AT rifles, as they ping off the frontal armor.
It's literally not damaged at all.
Very little amounts of damage. Well, you know, those AT rifles are actually doing something to it, but it's just like, you know, you need about 100 more of those hits before it actually kills it. And my god, the range on that shot against the Su-85 was... Oh my god!
You see that? It's firing from across the map.
I cannot even put this into focus in one camera angle without tilting down the camera.
No, that's not possible. No way.
It keeps missing though. The last 2 shots have missed.
Yeah, Stug gets taken out by an Su-85 combined with some 18-8 from some conscripts. Double MGs now in the center. Oh, that's a nasty strafe.
Yeah, IL-2 Sturmberg is back in action here. This elephant is finally taking a bit of damage, but it actually takes out the Su-85 that it was shooting at for so long. This guard squad now getting up behind it, going to start shooting it in the rear with these light AT rifles. I don't know how much that's going to do.
But it's actually got an AT gun, a stolen pack recruit, but it looks like it's going to be decrewed again by an MG in the building before it's actually put to any use against this elephant.
Oh, the guard squad picks up a Shrek. I'd like to see this used against the elephant.
Oh, but look at the flamers now. I think these guards need to retreat. Yeah, it does retreat. It had the potential to do a little bit of damage more to the elephant, which would, you know, at least keep it off the front lines for a while, but at the same time it was potential to get double flamed into the abyss.
Oh, more Molotovs going down here, and mass recruit. Double MG42s getting recruit here, because I think the Soviet side, they've really been putting on a lot of pressure here, but now is the time for the Axis counterattack. They're going out, and I can see lots of little blips moving out to the left-hand side. VP, they're going to be retaking that, because the VPs are getting very low now. We're at 48 VPs for the Soviet side, 101 for the Axis.
Yeah, the Axis just needs to stay in control of the VPs for a little while longer to drain the Soviets out of this game and close it. Oh, there's a second elephant on the field now. There's actually two of them.
Elephants. I think that kisses goodbye to pretty much any kind of tank armada that the Soviets could rustle up. Two elephants will really just destroy just about anything.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how you counter two elephants.
Well, actually, if you go and look at our intro that we have at the beginning of the video, you can see what happens when, what was it, like 4 or 5 T-34s and take on two elephants? The
Yeah,
T-34s were basically dead before they could even get in range. I mean, it was just insane. Oh no, it's a Vet 3 conscript squad. It's so low health, he needs to retreat it. It's a Vet 3 conscript. And he's... Wow, that squad is very, very durable. Ah, and it goes down to double flamers. Oh,
just as it notices and actually retreats that squad, it goes down to double flamers. That was so close. These AT guns are trying to damage these elephants, but it's not going very rapidly. It takes them quite a while to actually do any damage to these elephants.
Some more PPSH armed troops here in the middle trying to take on these flamers, but the flamers just do so much damage. Here come some guards though. These guys are a bit tougher, a bit stronger. And there's a nice grenade on an MG. Clears it in one. Very nice kills for that guard squad there.
Oh, we actually have an off-map used for Bjarkey, a Stuka bombing run. I think it's used somewhere in the center. I couldn't actually see the off-map warning.
We have a nice flank here. These there's two Panzer Grenadier squads moving in, but the problem is, you know, with these late game blizzards, almost all the fires have been destroyed.
Everything's basically freezing to death if they stay in the field for too long. Yeah.
Wow.
All the buildings are destroyed as well, so you can't garrison the building to warm up even, and there's no garrisonable vehicles either because all of the hat tracks died fairly early in the game.
Double Katyushas opening up on these. Look at these double Vet 3 Panzer Grenadiers and Grenadiers there, both armed with Shreks.
I find it quite funny that the AT gun and the Stug are just staring down each other, but they can't see each other due to the blizzard. Oh, main gun destroyed. Here comes the flamers from Bjarkey again, but he is fairly low on troops. He's only got 1 MG, a Grenadier squad, 3 Pyos, 2 Stugs, soon to be only 1 Stug, and that Panzerwerfer as well. He's got plenty of fuel now to build something like the Tiger if he wanted to, but he just can't afford it manpower-wise. Then again, at the same time, well, the Tiger could be good against the Soviet infantry, I guess, because he doesn't really need it as an AT role, because there's still 2 elephants on the field.
Yeah, my goodness, that elephant is firing
from look at that.
Some range.
I can't even keep them in the same picture. Their range is so insane that Su-85 from Ami needs to retreat.
Oh, no. Gets taken out, not even abandoned, just totally destroyed here. We actually have Su-76s opening fire now with 17 infantry kills. That light artillery barrage is really, really, really painful. It's
Well,
the Soviets who are now under pressure now. They're double capped with just 43 VPs remaining. The stranglehold is beginning now with these double elephants covering the center. Oh, nice grenade.
Nicely dodged as well from Bjarkey.
Oh no, the Su-76 actually goes down to, I think, elephants.
The elephants. It's the elephants.
It's so hard to tell because they're firing from so far away.
Yeah,
here we go, we have more.
Elephants.
This is, I think this is the double Katyusha barrage onto these elephants, but it's just doing nothing. I mean, the armor is just so thick. It's literally being
Yeah,
absorbed
look at the bounces. Yeah, it's
into
just
the
bouncing.
armor.
Well, it did take out the pioneers that were desperately trying to repair those elephants. I don't want those pios jobs. I'd rather be inside
how would you
tanks.
fancy repairing the tank from the outside while the crew chills inside? You can just imagine them sort of sitting inside, waving at the pioneers outside. Hey, you guys cold out there. Nice and warm in here.
We actually have, I think, a Stuka bombing strike used again for Bjarkey. I'm not exactly sure where it's going down. It might... Oh, it's on the Katyusha. Yeah,
But it didn't actually kill it. It just abandoned. So he's going to be able to recruit them as they're so close to his own lines. Oh, nice Molotov goes into the building. One of the last remaining buildings still standing. IL-2 use once again the strafing run. IL-2 circling around the map here. Putting in... Wow, that strafing run is doing a lot of damage to those elephants. Look at that.
Huh, interesting. Must be some form of armor-piercing rounds, I guess.
It must be. Oh, exhaust damage. That's going to lower the top speed of that elephant there.
Which is, you know, out of the box.
Oh my god, look at the VPs now for the Soviet side. Now down to just 7 VPs. They need to get back a VP urgently, or it's going to be curtains
there's
for
an
them.
off-map used in the center, I think, on these two conscript squads. I think they just blew up their own pios.
Some form of heavy artillery.
Oh! Some form of artillery off-map. Oh no! One of the conscript... Whoa! Both of the conscript squad gets taken out, but it did actually wipe the VP in the center, stopping the drain at 1, I say 1 VP for the Soviets.
They're going to have a heck of a job on their hands. And, well, what is
Katyusha's
this?
on the left-hand
What
side.
is this? Look at all these troops here on the left-hand side. This is a heck of a flank here from Marshal, sending them around.
Katyusha's got really lucky. Both of the Shreks actually missed because they're extremely lightly armored trucks. You know, if one of those Shreks would have actually hit, I think it would have caused some form of a critical, like a damage engine. I think the Panzerwerfer went out of control to an Su-85 that then got taken out by a Stug and the 2 murderous elephants in the center.
I think you're right there. It did get taken out, and look at these both sides are just vying for control over this middle VP now. I love this new capture system for the VPs. It does make everything just a whole lot more tense. The elephants are trying to roll in.
He's trying to crush him.
I have no idea. He's not going to get very far because he's moving so slowly.
Oh, nice! That massive German... well, not massive. It's 2 Pigran squads and a Pio and a Grenadier squad was forced to retreat due to the off-map used, the strafing run.
Oh, more Katyusha rockets, and these ones are painful.
Well, he needs to use it very, very fast. He needs to stop the cap. And it actually does. All of the German infantry gets taken out in the center to the double Katyushas.
Oh my goodness, these VPs are getting very, very low now. Still just the 1 VP for the Soviet side. The Germans just need to grab that VP and literally hold it for a second, and they will win. In fact, just capping it would win the game, but...
We do have a 1-man conscript squad on the left-hand side. He's actually got to decap it. Yep, he got the decap on the left-hand side VP before he pays with his life.
Stoked sniped. There's just fresh conscripts getting sent to the field now. Ami is building nothing but guards because they just have a little bit more staying power to survive. This is the Vet 2 guard squad armed with the Shrek here. Very powerful stuff. They block the cap by the Pioneers in the middle. Oh, look at one of these elephants. One of these elephants, very, very low health now. Destroyed engine. Anything that kills it will surely get an instant Vet 2 or Vet 3.
Not actually sure what can kill it, however. There is an Su-85 firing at it, but... Oh! the VPs actually got drained for the German team, taking them down to 0 VPs. I wasn't even paying attention to the VPs because
I didn't realize
thought
they were taking that quickly.
no, I thought, you know, the Germans good. They just need 1 tick on the VPs, and it's good. But due to the left-hand side VP getting widened, the drain was faster, I guess. So yeah, they got actually drained at the last. I think they had somewhere around 30, 40 VPs left compared to the 1 from the Soviets, which just massively stormed the center to try and keep some form of infantry squad in the center to stop the cap of the VP. As you can do that in Company of Heroes 2, you can actually stall capping by just staying in that small circle.
Oh boy, that was a pretty intense game right there.
It was a heck of a game.
Can't believe the VPs went down so low, but I think that showcases a lot of really cool features about Company of Heroes 2. Like, you know, the deep snow and the way that Blizzard's kind of being used. I mean, even at this very early stage, Blizzard's, I'm sure, they'll go through a lot of changes over the beta as they experiment with different ways to implement them. But, I mean, you could see, you know, tanks could be literally feet away and still not see each other.
Yeah, I feel when I'm playing, at least, I don't have the specific stats, the exact stats of how Blizzards work and how they obstruct your line of sight and the true sight system, etc. But it really feels like, especially vehicles, have a real hard time in Blizzards to see anything. So you really need to screen with infantry in Blizzards, you know, and the infantry themselves don't have that good of a line of sight in a Blizzard anyways, but the vehicles especially just seems to be like almost blind in a blizzard because there's just snow everywhere and you can't see 2 feet in front of you. It's a really cool feature. Coltech surely going to go through some form of tweaks, as this is just a closed beta test, a stress test mainly, to see if the game can handle all of the action and all of the users in the auto match systems.
But yeah, no, a really cool game, and very, very intense as well. So very, very rare that we get such a close VP game so early on in the beta.
One.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't think we've ever even casted a Vico game. In all our Vico casts, I don't think we've ever casted a Vico game that went this low.
I think we've had a 1-digit game here or there, maybe one,
so,
maybe
yeah.
2, but 1, I don't think I've seen like literally 1 VP left. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Crazy stuff. Well, thanks guys for watching. Do leave a comment, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time.
See you guys.